Hey Nick, you know how like you like 666?
Me?
Yeah.
Satan? I don't so much like Satan as I hate Jesus.
Do you like 555?
I'm down with it. Is that like 3 high fives?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
three
you
high.
wanna do
It's
it
3
real
high
fast?
fives in a row. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was awful. That was
Okay,
just
one-
3.
okay.
1, 2, 3.
That's right.
4, 5.
Wait,
Make
we
it
got
clap.
how many times we got to do it?
5.
15.
And one for the road dog.
In a row. Guys, I feel
You just
left
slapped me in
out.
the face.
You feel left out? You shut the fuck up over there. Hey guys, it's your
Yes,
favorite final
boy.
girl and boy, Emily and Nick, and your favorite final babysitter, Mike, coming at
They
you with a
didn't
new
get the
episode of
high-fives.
Gag Me with a Knife, a weekly
sad.
podcast where we dissect, disembowel, and shred the best and worst slasher movies. This week, we bring you 1988's, as the saying goes, shot on shitio, Shitfest 555. That's kind of harsh. As usual, Emily has an original VHS, this $800 VHS. Let's hear what's on the back of that box because she paid for it.
Don't get caught fooling around. Every 5 years, within 5 days, unsuspecting lovers get brutally murdered. 555. Every 5 years, within 5 days, unsuspected
it said it
couples are
twice?
brutally murdered. It says it twice. Yeah. Who is behind these bloodbath sex crimes? What does the third 5 mean? Ukrainian-American producer-director Wally Kaz will take this bizarre tale of horror and splatter it across your mind. Prepare your... I don't know if he's Ukrainian. He lives in in Chicago, in
It would
New
make sense
Ukraine in
that
Chicago.
he lived in
but
the Ukrainian village in Chicago. If
but,
he's
okay.
Ukrainian.
Where the fuck is Ukrainia?
It's
it's a place in Chicago.
Is it?
Yeah.
part of Mother Russia.
But prepare yourself for this blood-soaked psycho thriller, and please watch your back the next time you're fooling around. 555. 1988. Your thoughts?
I feel weird about this one. I think this movie should have just been called Cop Talk, or it could have been called Detective Ken Weathers, meteorologist at law, Forecastle Murder.
The conference call.
It's just a bunch of cop talk.
Charlie's Angels, the other side of the story.
Yeah, I admire the spirit, and I do think it's got its moments. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of shot on shitio, and this is not the worst.
No. It's actually the mileage they get out of a green room. Like, I don't mean like a green room, like the room is green.
The room's green, yeah.
Like, it's pretty good.
Those
and
cops talk
I mean,
so fucking much.
They
for
like
this
to
guy, I mean, it's more of a crime procedural than a slasher, but
Connor looks like a Muppet.
Yeah.
Wally Kaz basically just made this movie because he had seen other like shot on shitio movies. He was like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So let me prove it to you. He never made another movie after this.
But he did prove it. Like,
And his brother,
made a movie.
wrote the script. His family like produced it, whatever. I mean, and it doesn't look like that shitty.
to tell you the truth, it does kind of flow. As boring as the cop talk can get, it does
It's
move on.
80%.
It moves
It's
pretty quick.
80% cop
I thought
talk,
it
yeah.
moved pretty quickly, and
Cops in the
there was
opposite
a
day.
lot of cop talk, but a
Cops
lot
in
of
the
it
car
was
at night.
very hilarious. So it starts.
Cop.
So we start off with some beach sex, maybe.
There's some intense making out on the beach, and then there's also a guy walking on the beach with a limp. We see a machete fall on the lovers, and blood spatters all over the woman.
Yeah, it just looks like someone just took a bucket and threw fake blood at this
all over
woman's
her
body.
tits, man. It's awesome.
And the guy hears the scream.
And then all of a sudden it just freezes and it
Director
says
of photography.
Director of photography, something, and it's like quote unquote Larry.
Yeah. No, it was Lamar, Larry.
Larry something. But then we cut to the guy that was on the beach, and he's in the green.
Colonel Walker.
Colonel Wayne. And this is the first time we're seeing the green cop office.
Down
We're
at the
going to be in this
precinct.
room a lot.
This room is going to be used for other things, but
This is where
it's...
the majority of the movie takes place, in this fucking room.
So-
and this one corner of the room.
Yeah, we don't see there's a couch apparently in there, but we don't see that till like almost the end of the movie.
You only get a few shots of that.
But yeah, Colonel Wayne is being interrogated because he found the bodies.
Yeah, he's
and-
recounting how he found the bodies
Yeah,
on the beach.
and he was
did
like-
see someone else there who was dressed just like a 60s hippie.
Well, he goes, he just heard one scream,
A long scream. And he knew what that meant.
And he said battlefield. And then he goes, and then they're like, why did it take you that long to get to them or wherever the bodies were? And he's like, I walk very slowly.
You don't want to walk up to that kind of thing too
And he goes-
fast.
he
Like
goes-
to save a woman from being killed or raped. Like, damn, dude.
It's like, I knew it for what it was. Horror. And then he said, that's what he says. There was someone in the trees, a hippie with beads, bell bottoms, flowered shirt, and one of the cops or the DA,
Dude,
Ralph,
I've
Ralph.
had
that
fucking-
says those people don't exist anymore. And I was like, they certainly do.
I've had that
okay.
fucking problem, dude. Hippies get in my trees all the fucking time, and it's hard to get them out. And if you get one, there's 1,000 that you don't see.
Yeah, it's like they're fucking
Like,
cockroaches.
yeah, it's fucking terrible, dude. And they
You
smell
see
bad.
one
and,
hippie, you
like,
see if you smell patchouli, run.
no, they're up there hugging that fucking tree, dude.
So they send Colonel Wayne down to give his statement officially, and 2 or 3 cops,
before
as
that,
soon as
though,
he's gone,
before that,
think he's full of shit.
when he gives the description of the hippie, one of the cops goes, "Okay, so you gave us a description, but no description." I was like, "Well, that was in fact a description.
This
And then
is
he says,
What the
like,
fuck does that
it
mean?"
was too detailed.
He was like, but then he calls it precise, and I was like, "Was it a description or was it not a description?"
Overly precise.
But they're like, "This is a waste of time," and that's when Miss Rather.
yeah.
I'm
we get the
assuming they got
reporter
her
lady,
name from Dan Rather.
Susan.
Her name's Susan. She's a reporter. She's a cunt, apparently.
It said.
I don't know why. I don't know why she's trying to get information. She's a reporter for a news station or a news column. Why is she trying to get information out of the meteorologists? Like
They're just
and
dressed
the
like that,
anchors.
man.
Their
They're undercover.
hair is perfect. They are not dressed like
it's
cops.
It's a sergeant and his partner, and then the ADA.
Is Connor the sergeant?
Connor's the sergeant, yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't know what the other guy's name is, but
So-
Ralph is the ADA.
And Ralph is, he's the DA, and he's dating the reporter
No,
Susan.
I think he had.
Oh.
I don't
she
think
has
they-
a key to his apartment.
Yeah, but I think that it seemed like their thing was over. But
This lady is no spring chicken
No,
by,
she is
by
not.
any means either. Like she looks a little weathered.
her
No
hair,
pun intended.
Her hairdo.
She's like
Oh,
if
man.
Exene Cervenka and
You're
Jackie
throwing
from
shade.
fucking Roseanne had a baby.
Yeah, and her
Like,
hair is
and it came out old.
It's greasy as hell, and the haircut is terrible.
Yeah, she's seen better days.
What
She
are
does have some,
is happening?
And this
Some big boobs
this
that
young
old men
meteorologist is fucking her, and he thinks he's a cop.
he's
the
a DA.
DA.
No, he's not.
He's a law. That's a lawyer. That's
He's
a
a
lawyer.
fucking hippie, dude.
That's a lawyer, Nick.
Oh, yeah, he also
That's
plays
FY.
hippie.
So we cut to a van where some
Another couple.
heavy foreplay is coming on.
Yeah.
And the man gets a machete to the back of the neck, and the girl is then tied up and brutalized.
By the hippie,
There's lots of
who
breast,
has
breast
clearly has a
carving.
wig on. By the way,
Oh yeah.
yeah. And
Lot-
then he has this weird knife.
The
I
first
don't
of
know
many
what that
tits
knife is
cut.
called. It's this
It's
knife.
got like a bottle opener on the other side of it.
Yeah, it's a knife that's like really wavy.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah, he has
the
a different
knife
one
is
later.
like, I don't know what kind of knife that is. It's some kind of
I think it's called
sword.
decorative.
Well, I think it's yeah.
It's something you buy at the China Bazaar
Yeah,
for $15.
It's a sword of some sort, but it's wavy. Anyway,
It's dumb.
when he killed, but
is.
when he stabs her, you hear the same stock scream footage that you heard in the first death,
Yeah, they
which
all
was
scream
not
the
just
same.
one scream, by the way.
This, yeah.
So whatever, Colonel Wayne, you've seen better days, I guess,
yeah.
in Nam or whatever.
So we find out that the man was decapitated because the cops are there the next day, and the reporter Susan Rather comes over and starts talking shit with Connor.
Is this the one where the dude got decapitated?
Decapitated.
Decapitated?
Yeah,
Palpitated?
the police.
Dude,
Connor,
that effect is really awesome.
Connor, both of them are assholes, but Connor is like
He likes to push shit off his desk.
Yeah,
Kinda
yeah. He says that he was there before he found the bodies before anybody, even before the patrol guy pulled up.
So it's Connor and Haller,
But
right?
this is a red herring.
Connor and
He
it's
was putting
actually
something in his
it's
trunk.
actually Connor and Ralph are talking
Malenko.
because the other
Where's
detective,
Malenko at?
Connor's partner is at home with his family. So it's Ralph and Connor that are talking.
Yeah.
And so Susan Rather shows up out of nowhere, and she says she will not be nice to that caveman, talking about Connor. And then she's like, "Why was he already here?"
She wants to fuck Connor.
And then she says, "Must you, Ralph?"
She wants to fight or fuck him.
Yeah, like
That's
you
all
would
this-
like
it's
you
all
with
the same.
what's his
You
name?
and Boone.
Boone from the
Throwback.
Final Tear.
Oh,
Final
yeah.
Tear.
You couldn't
Jesus
decide if you
Christ.
wanted to fight or fuck him, just like Ralph from the Mutilator.
Well,
You couldn't
yeah.
decide if you wanted to fight or fuck him.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way
Do you
about
feel that way
Susan?
about any of the characters
Oh, no,
in this movie?
no. Susan's no good.
No, we're talking about the men.
The men?
You're-
in this movie? I'll get to that later. I do
about
have something to say
Connor?
Do
about
you have
that.
one of them that you would like to fight or fuck?
Would
I've
you
got
smash
something to say
Connor?
about it later, and it might involve fucking.
Where the fuck are we? So there's some more cop talk.
Ralph is talking to Susan.
And he's like, what's in the motherfucking trunk? Apparently, Malenko, the redhead mullet cop, saw Connor putting something in his trunk when he first showed
he
up.
doesn't say he saw him putting something in his trunk. He said he saw him closing the trunk.
Closing the trunk.
And I was like, they're like, oh my god, he was closing his trunk. I was like, people do, he
never
could have just
did.
accidentally opened it.
I opened mine just to look
Sometimes-
in it
Tried to
all the
open his
time.
gas can. And,
Sometimes I've opened a trunk and closed it.
I have too.
I mean, like,
you never know what you're gonna find in there. Even though if you didn't leave anything there, there might be
Emily's
something
a
there later.
killer.
Yeah. But anyway, they're like,
It's like Indian
I
in the
guess
cupboard.
after that they go straight back. They're like, well, we're just gonna go back and wait for the coroner's report.
They're back in the office, and the reporter, Susan, is eavesdropping on them and listening to everything they say, and that's how she gets her news.
And one of them says, one of the cops, or I don't know if it's one of the cops or Ralph, but one of them says, wanting to screw dead meat, different strokes for different folks. Rude.
Yummy.
So that.
Well, then the other guy goes, "Hey, that's not funny," and he goes, "Yeah, you're right." And he's like, "I'm sorry, that was
But
really
then Ralph
insensitive."
starts talking shit about Susan, and she hears it and she walks away. And then we have this hilarious transition where it does like a. What is it? That fade out? It's like a fade to the next scene, but it does like a fan around. It's like a fan transition. And then we're at the Colonel's.
Yeah, they go to visit the Colonel and get some more information from him.
That's when we first see Connor in that blue fucking suit that
What's
doesn't
the name
fit.
of the
and
other
he's gonna
cop?
wear it for basically
There's
the
Ralph,
rest
there's
of the
Connor.
fucking movie.
What's the other one's name?
I don't know.
Haller.
Haller. Okay, so Haller is like, I'm gonna go take a piss, and he really is fucking turning on weird YouTube videos. No, he's really snooping around, and he finds a
We are
nice.
brought to you by Herbal Essences.
We find
It has a
Colonel
National Geographic. I was
Colonel
looking
Wayne's
brought
at
to you by
baby.
Nat Geo.
collection. He's
I was
got a
looking at the
sword
IMDb
collection.
to make sure of his name. And
Hush up!
It's Haller.
I'm trying to talk about this.
okay, so
lady,
there was a
y'all.
wall of knives.
Wall of knives, and when it's brought up, Wayne kicks them out. So then
Nobody peeps my blades.
Then Susan and the Colonel. Is this like?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
this is
what
where she shows up all
Susan
dolled
shows
up.
up. She's all dolled up.
If you want to call it that.
Okay, she has hairspray in
I've
her
written down,
hair, and
the
she has
Colonel's a tit
cleavage.
man.
Yeah, the Colonel is a tit
Yeah,
man.
she's showing a lot of leg. She's like, Connor's an asshole, and they're gonna pin it on you, so you should talk to me. And he offers
there,
her some
sugar-bums.
scotch, and she goes, "You wouldn't rape. You'd keep her around." And then he puts his head in her breast and motorboats her, like,
Yeah, dude.
and then they start making out.
And then we cut to Chicago Deli, where some guy is ordering a hot Italian beef with sweet peppers.
Yep.
And
That's Connor.
then Connor then talks about he's useless as tits on a boar hog, which I've always liked that old fashioned saying. And then we cut back to the titty play. And then we cut to the knife sharpening for the first time.
Oh, no. We cut back to the
hippie guy.
titty play with fucking Wayne and what's her name?
It's all
Weathers.
happening concurrently.
Yeah, they're
But
all
she's got her
having
tit out, and he's like, sitting there talking to her about the case with her.
Yeah, and then
her
she
tit
starts
in his
kissing
hand.
him, and she looks at her watch, and she's like, "Oh, well, gotta go."
Yeah, I've had that happen.
And whenever they're in the
He's like,
restaurant,
"Susan."
he's like, we know who the fuck it is, and he's like, I'm gonna kill him. That's what Connor says. So, he's like lighting.
Or he said, I'm gonna put a bullet in his head to end it just for once and
He's
for
just
all.
an old man that likes titties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he finally got like some kind of like lower mid shelf tail knocking on his door. It's past its expiration date.
I was just glad there was stuff on the screen that wasn't cops talking.
Yeah, it was the
Well,
knife
if it's
sharpening.
not cops talking, it's tits.
No,
or knife
we got
sharpening.
knife sharpening
Oh,
next.
Some knife
I
work.
forgot.
The hippie is sharpening a knife.
The hippie, man. This movie's fucking silly.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we see Connor just absolutely losing his shit in the office and throwing stuff.
Throwing books.
And we
He's
get
like, I've never heard of getting pleasure from a bloody corpse. I was like, have you never heard of necrophilia? I mean, I guess this was before like Dahmer and shit, but like,
It's also a first conference call.
yeah, with out of a fucking Charlie's Angels box, and it sounds like it too.
Well, the captain is only known as this little speaker box.
Yeah,
and it keeps cutting to
yeah,
it.
like,
Like,
hey Charlie.
yeah, it's like this guy's not. It's just this box that yells at them.
And he's got like a ridiculous, like, you know, the Bulls to Bears guys from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell this guy's from Chicago.
Oh yeah.
I need you boys to okay, we need to sharpen the knife some more.
Yeah.
And he puts it in his pants.
Oh no! Before
The killer
that,
That's
the
what you do with
to
a
go on the
razor sharp
prowl.
knife. Just
before
put it
that,
down
the
the front of your
captain says
fucking
that
pants.
he's involved the FBI, and
Yeah, that's.
and
I think that's when I.
Connor's like, "What the fuck for?" And then there's more knife sharpening, and then
So, am I wrong? Like,
from
aren't
the
the
cops.
FBI detectives, or is it just like federal cases? I'm really stupid about this. Are there like detectives that aren't FBI? I thought that's what if you made
No.
detective, it was FBI.
no, you're not in the FBI.
Come on, dude.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm not a cop. I don't really like that
You
stuff.
don't have to be a cop to know that there are detectives that aren't in the FBI.
I don't know.
No, the FBI is like a different entity.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's like the federal government.
What were Mulder and Scully?
They're
just detectives.
Wait, they're FBI.
They are FBI, yeah.
And they're wasting the FBI's
like-
time with chasing aliens?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess they were real mad, but
So the local and state cops get pissed off when federal cops come in because
Yeah.
they kind of take everything
yeah,
over.
they always but even
They
when
don't
it's
get the
not
collar.
but even when it's not
Bureaucracy,
that
man.
people hate
Yeah.
it when other people come in. They're like, oh, there were jurisdiction issues. I'm like, God, shut up.
Shut up about your
Aren't
jurisdiction.
all detectives FBI?
I don't know,
That's so
man.
cute.
I don't know how the fucking shit works. They're all
Yeah.
fucking idiots.
That's right. We ain't no bootlickers over here.
Fuck no.
So the cops are in the car. We see some lovers smoking a joint, making out in a fucking casket factory
Yeah,
for
man.
some reason.
Hell yeah.
And the girl goes to pee, and while she's peeing, the hippie decapitates and he cuts the fingers off of Tommy.
I wrote check in
Oh
and
yeah,
555.
this is really good.
We know his name's Tommy.
Yes. And Tommy,
he cuts his
if
fingers
you
off
hear
and then
this, we want an
decapitates
interview.
him.
I'm gonna try to message your wife.
Yeah, Tommy.
Said I found her on a comment on something.
Hit us up. Well, then the girl
Hidden
comes back
person.
in the room, and he kind of chokes her out for a second.
Well,
and
the
then takes her over to
head
bed.
decapitation was cool, and you do
Oh,
get
yeah.
and you do get later
It was
on
cool.
get
One
another
swipe.
angle of it as well.
The fingers getting chopped off and the head.
fingers, yeah,
it was really good.
and the head of like for a low budget shot on Shitio.
Very, very well done.
It was not a bad head.
It was a good cast, yeah.
That he knows you're a lone head from
Wally
like
Cobbs
1980s
gives a great
farmers. So yeah, Wally Cause, good job on. Oh, he's dead.
Oh,
Yeah, but he used to send people free
Rest in peace, Wally
free
Cause.
VHS that he had signed and shit.
no wonder they're worth $825.
Yeah.
So he ties her up, cuts her up, rapes her after she's dead. As the cops are
but
calling it at
whenever
night.
he like humps her, whenever he
It's
humps his
ridiculous.
victims, I mean, I guess he's like unzipping. He never takes off his pants, but I guess he's like pulling his dick
he
out of
seems
his zipper.
pretty ready.
I guess he's pulling his dick out of his zipper, but it just kind of just looks like he's dry humping it.
I guess he's ready to go.
But when I was like 9 and I saw this movie, that's the only thing I remember. Like I would vividly remember like this weird.
explains a lot,
humping.
Emily.
Well, yeah.
Why you love hippies?
The cops are like, we better call it a
Everyone
night.
loves
It's
hippies.
3 in the morning. And the
I've seen you
reporter.
with them, hanging out with that nasty crowd.
You know I do. I do not
Playing bongos in
No,
the dirt
when
over
I
there.
smell patchouli, I run.
Yeah, straight to the
Just-
nearest hippie. Follow it, right? You follow the scent.
No, I do not. That's gross. Sorry, y'all. I mean, sorry if you're a hippie, but like, I didn't know. Thank you.
Nice Birkenstocks in them.
I do not own fucking Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
What's a wook?
Stay waked, man.
Do
Wake
you guys
life.
do you guys know what wooks are?
I don't know.
No.
What's
Okay.
a wook? Is that racist?
No.
No,
I
I
think
don't-
it's some kind of shoe.
Sounds
white,
like a slur.
white dreads.
White,
Oh.
so
that
it
is
racist.
Wait, so now
Well, sometimes they just have
I'd like to
dreads because
drop
they
those
never,
motherfuckers
they
off in
don't wash their
Trench
hair for
Town.
so long.
at some point Susan blows a story. She like releases information that the cops are pissed about. So Connor goes home and is drinking in the dark.
Yeah. Oh, and he says
He doesn't go home. He goes to his office.
Yeah, he's in his
Wait.
offiz, and one of them says
It's
back.
that same
office.
green room.
His partner is like, I have a bad feeling in my guts, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, what? Getting up in
Dude,
them guts?
Also, he doesn't just drink in the dark. He drinks in the pitch black dark, of which we see on the screen.
And you
There's
can see
no
all-
light in this
all
room.
the busy city
rather
around
got the story just like Dan would have. Dan Rather. Then there's Cobb talk. Connor wants to go
Cobb
home by
talk.
himself or drink alone and sleep on his office couch. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, it's all the
and
same.
then there are two. But then they like
Yeah, they
find out
find the
there are
dead
two dead
kids.
kids in an old casket factory, and someone
wrote-
says, "Fuck it."
I wrote Cactus Factory.
Cactus Factory.
They're making cactus.
The desert.
Cacti.
The desert is
That's
the
going to be my
Cactus
next
Factory.
concept album.
And then okay, so
Cactus.
the next time you
Call.
see the cops, it's like, look how tired we are. Look at our fake shadow beards, like our 5 o'clock shadows.
Dude, it's just some like
it's
soot
dirt.
rub. Yeah,
It looks like they're just like
they look like they just got done changing the oil on a car.
or
something.
they're like chimney sweeps.
Yeah.
They just
They're like
got
Dr.
put soot
Potter.
on their face.
Yeah, dude.
Dr. Potter showing up to the Haven with
And
soot
It
all
looked
over
like
his
they went
face.
out all night.
but
and
they're
just,
like, we're
smoked a bunch of
tired,
crack.
even though his partner had gone home. But whatever. Anyway, the colonel there, he goes, if the colonel isn't our guy, we're in deep shit. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, you guys are fucking
yeah,
idiots.
yeah, you are. And it says more killings tonight. 2 a night for 5 nights in St. Louis 10 years ago. 5 years ago in Baltimore. 15 years ago in Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo.
Go on.
20 years ago in Springfield. And this
out
was
of
not
town.
none of this was publicized because they didn't want copycats.
Because they were keeping it quiet like we
However,
are.
they never found the guy, so this kept happening. So
Do we even know what month this is? If it's not too cold because they
no, it doesn't matter.
it
And
could
so
matter to why.
I mean, but it could have been May. If they did it in May, there'd be another 5.
It's at least decent enough weather for some really, really low rent Miami Vice fucking suits.
So the third on the
You
back
could fuck
on the
in
back of the
abandoned
box
factories in the
on the back of the
beach.
box it asks what the other 5 is for, but it's 5 nights, 5 couples,
5 what?
5 nights, 5 couples.
5 nights,
I don't
5
know.
couples.
What's the third 5?
I don't know.
5
I don't think
nights,
they ever
5
said what the
couples.
other 5
no,
was.
there is no. I
Every
I
5
read-
years.
In May.
Every 5 years. Every 5 years. Every 5
yeah,
years. Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Going back to
we
the
just,
suit,
we
I do-
just said
You know, that's
I
a
do
good
like what
idea
you-
for a killer. Somebody should pick this gimmick up, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, you don't. No, yeah, okay. I do like what you said though. Going back to the suits, Mike.
thank
when
you.
we were watching this, you said, "Man, he didn't pay much for that."
Yeah.
Yeah. Connor,
Okay,
Connor's a fucking
but
tailor.
like when,
dude,
so
it
Connor
doesn't fit.
So Connor wakes up from the couch nap
Mary
to
fuck
find
killed
all this
Connor,
stuff out.
Harold, and Ralph.
Well, Connor wakes up from this nap to find out the 5 years ago in Baltimore, 10 years ago in St. Louis, blah 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 blah.
Didn't somebody
And then
yell
he
at him
goes-
to wake him up?
And then he goes, okay, now that I know all this, I'm gonna go back to my nap. And he puts a pillow over his face and goes back
Yeah,
to
it's
sleep.
great
Yeah.
And
police
then
work
I said
right there.
Colonel was a POW, and then I wrote didn't pay much for that suit or anything in his office.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a reason the feds are getting involved is because you can't fucking stop drinking in this room.
So then Susan Rather comes in and she's like, maybe we can work together. And he says something about, yeah, well, we'll start by you laying on this couch. And she said, I'd close it up with super glue
Yeah,
first.
that was
I was
good.
like, ooh, burn,
good.
Connor.
Yeah, even Haller was like, "Damn,
Even Rather,
dog."
who is a
Is this where they find
fugly
out?
bitch, a fugly
yeah.
cunt, is like, who
Well-
made out with fucking Colonel Wayne.
Yeah.
Would super glue her pussy
Yeah, well-
closed, and so she didn't have to
Connor
fuck
ain't got
Connor.
no game, dude.
Like,
He does look like a
Ew.
Muppet.
I mean, he
He
has
looks
more,
weird.
whatever.
He
Okay,
looks
but-
like the Eagle Muppet.
Emily, Mary fuck kill Connor, Ralph, and Harold.
Okay, well, kill Ralph.
Yeah.
It's Haller, not Harold.
Harry.
Mary Haller,
The
fuck
other
Connor.
Okay. Yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, when you get to the end, if the end wasn't the way it was, I would kill Connor, fuck Ralph,
What about the Colonel?
marry.
Yeah, but he's a fucking hippie.
Colonel's not part of the marry, fuck, kill.
Yeah, but would you do any of those to him?
No.
You wouldn't
no.
even kill him?
No, I would just
pay-
ignore him.
He'll pay extra
Aw.
attention to your breasts.
Guys do that already.
Really?
We
That's
are
all.
guys.
Most people. I know you're different, but most of the time, all people look at are my boobs.
The Colonel's supposed to come in for something, and
Yeah,
he
they
skips.
go. Wayne skipped. Susan's on the case, so they allow her to. They're like, okay, never mind you. I guess we don't have to fuck you on the couch. The super glue situation's over.
And-
Since Wayne skipped and he's not coming, you can be on the case, whatever. And
'Cause that's how police
then they're
work.
in the car,
It's
and it's
done.
11 o'clock, and I was like, it was 11 o'clock before. I was like, why is it always 11 p.m.
And they
in
always
the
call
car?
it at 3. So they got a good solid 4 hours of investigation before they're like, dude,
Yeah.
fuck this.
Well, at 4
I'm gonna
o'clock,
go
they
drink
were,
in the dark.
Well, at 4 o'clock, they were probably dealing with someone that parked their car in the middle of the road.
yeah.
Drunk, flipping people
flipping
off.
everybody off.
Yeah. So they were dealing with that.
Yeah.
And then at 11 o'clock, they finally got back to the killings. So,
Oh, yeah.
So the cops are in the car at night.
but
with,
Connor goes, I'd give my left nut to know where the murders were 10 years ago. I was like, okay, you
Yeah.
already know this. They happened in St. Louis.
Yeah. And the
St.
Colonel
Louis.
was in some of these areas. But in one of them, it wouldn't have worked out because he was in the hospital.
And then you see the hippie, and he's
Yeah, the hippie's
weightlifting.
worshiping knives
He's
and
weightlifting
shit.
with a knife.
Yeah, man.
And
Cut back to the
This is the knife
The
with
cops
the bottle
are
cap
still
opener
in
on
the
the
car.
back end of it.
And he says, Connor says all college students, or they looked like it, Poontang College attendance will go down. Something about
I wanna
Poontang.
go to Poontang College.
Someone says something about Poontang, and that
Does
if
Ted Nugent teach
if,
there?
if this keeps going, that the college attendance rate is going to go down.
My notes say knife
Okay.
worship, cops at night, knife
Boonton
guy, car
University.
talk.
And then hippie playing with the
Hippie at
knife
Angie's,
again.
a hippie at Angie's window.
St. Louis, John Aston, and Marlene. But it wasn't John Aston. His name was John. What was his name?
I thought they said John Aston. I was like, are
Well,
they
they
searching
did.
for Gomez Adams?
When we find
Nick
Fuck.
Dwyer?
Joseph Dwyer, I don't know how
Joseph
anyone
Dwyer.
heard John Aston, but his name was Joseph Dwyer. Okay, so in St. Louis, this was 10 years ago. So this really doesn't make a whole lot of sense because
They call it St. Louis.
this was 10 years ago.
I was sleepy.
But
We're
15,
talking about
but,
Skyline
but,
Chili.
but this had also happened 15 years ago and 20 years ago, so it doesn't make sense at the end that this started. You know, the 555 thing started because of the St. Louis incident.
Yeah.
Because that was 10 years ago, but it also happened 15 years ago and 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, they say that in that incident 10 years ago, there was a girl named Marlene and her boyfriend, Joseph, what is his name? Joseph Dwyer. And she had been killed. I don't know. College kids again. It says wrong again, Howler. There was no apparent pattern.
the little speaker on the walkie-talkie go, wrong again, Howler.
Yeah, it was Charlie from Charlie's
Yeah,
Angels,
yeah.
and then he goes,
Nope.
Then he goes, both of you guys are becoming weird.
Yeah,
was
you
like,
guys are
what
so
the fuck?
weird.
So
Like, what
then-
are you doing over
So
there?
then, cut to the same room, but it's been turned into a bedroom.
You guys sitting alone, like, together.
This is the one with
You guys are
the
weird.
Those are weird.
the buff guy that gets the knife.
Angie and her boy, the Asian girl.
Yeah.
The only girl
But-
we don't see her tits in this, man, and I really wanted to. We saw fucking Weather's tits. I didn't want to see those.
Susan
yeah,
Weather?
Weather, whatever the fuck her
You
name
think
is.
they're all meteorologists?
They are. And
He called her
they
Susan
are.
Weather.
I don't know. It's all bullshit, but I didn't want to see her fucking
He's thinking
tits.
of Gail.
And this girl,
He's thinking of Gail Weathers from Scream.
maybe, or Ken Weathers. I don't know. He's a local dude. He's no Todd Howell. I know that. Todd Howell helps people.
Hey, I thought you weren't giving away a location.
That's a deep cut.
Well, he's already given it away.
Yeah.
Deep cuts like in the valleys of East Tennessee.
So okay, but let
damn
me
it.
let me note that this room was actually it's the same green
the
room as the
same
cop's
room.
office, but it's been turned into a bedroom
It's
for
the
this
same
scene. But it's the
fucking
same
room.
room.
Yeah.
And it's this Angie
They're
and
not
her.
even. It's the same corner of the same room. They're not even fucking
yeah, they
trying.
didn't even move.
Is the filing
The
cabinet-
couch is probably still
is the
over
filing
there.
It's just
cabinet
No,
still
cropped
over
out of
there?
the shot. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're about to have sex, and her boyfriend's like, "Come on, do me," And he gets
That'll
up.
get him every fucking time.
I know.
That'll get him.
He gets up. He walks into like the
glue.
closet or something, and he's stabbed in the throat.
It looked cool.
There's a machete straight through the.
Yeah, it was like a
throat.
machete.
And then there's that stock scream. It is the same scream, and then she starts getting stabbed. But then instead of the stock screaming, she starts making these noises.
Yeah, this is one of the sex noises. And she is curling her toes.
Yeah, I was
It's
like, did she like this? She's getting
And he's
murdered.
not even humping her yet. He's just still stabbing
Well,
her.
she killed it for him because she was in it. She was into it, man. So she took the power back.
Is this the one where he says no?
No.
No, that's at the end.
No, it's not.
No.
So then,
The cops find these kids pretty quick.
but Connor isn't there. Captain asks, and he was like, he's just shit, a real lone wolf.
Well, he took off to go find the colonel.
Colonel, yeah.
And then as soon as the
And
captain...
there's a cop laughing at the dead body, and there's no reason ever
What the
given
fuck is that?
for that. Like you think it's going to be a setup for them to at least say like a joke, not a good one, but just for something to be said, but nothing said. They just laugh at the dead body and it's over.
Yeah, these cops suck.
Connor shows up with the colonel at this fucking... Are we at the factory or whatever?
No, there's some, but I don't.
I was done.
He
with
was
this movie by this
found.
point.
They found. Okay, Connor found Colonel Wayne in a secret room in his house.
Yeah.
And he said that he was hiding because he knew they had found out that he had lived in Baltimore when that all happened at some point, and he was scared. So Connor gets his gun out, and then in walks Ralph.
Yes.
Then we see the hippie lair, which is a shirt. There's a shirt on there's a hippie shirt on the wall, bell bottoms, beads, knives, a knife sharpener. I didn't see it. I guess his wig was on the wall too.
All the things you need to be groovy.
And then Susan's back in the police office unsupervised,
Snooping around, looking at papers. But it's a good thing she did.
Yeah, good thing.
She's about to crack this thing wide open.
Wayne was out loose. I don't know if I said that, but Susan grabs Connor and she says, "Don't you want me to help you, you big ox?" Marlene's boyfriend.
They're homies now.
Remember Marlene from that story? Remember how you forgot about it because you were like, "I wish I knew what happened 10 years ago, even though I was told the whole story earlier." Yeah. Well, Marlene's boyfriend was Joseph Dwyer, a.k.a. Ralph. This was actually okay. I'm sorry. This actually was 20 years ago in Springfield.
Yearbook.
Sorry, it was in Springfield. It was not in St. Louis. It was 20 years ago in Springfield that this happened. That makes okay. I think they accidentally said it was 10 years ago.
Is this where she gives the
The
backstory
DA
of
is a
Ralph?
sex killer.
And then she says, also, by the way, when she's telling the story, before she goes into more of it, she says, "I'm too good of a lay for anyone to get rid of." I was like, I highly doubt that, Susan Weathers.
I hope that's her redeeming quality because
There's
not
something
many.
to that, man.
But I will say, yeah, there is something to that. But I will say, is this the part where
Work hard for it.
she's like, yeah, and we all used to make fun of him in high school and call him funny names. And
No. She doesn't. That's not what she says. She says that she had a key to his apartment when she was dating him, and she found his yearbook.
Okay.
And she was like, "See, they didn't even get your." She was making fun of him. They didn't even get your name right. And he was like, "No, that's my name, and it's also my legal." She's like, both of them are legal names.
Yeah.
Because he took his stepfather's last name, and his first name is actually Joseph. His middle name's Ralph.
So what was she
Joseph
And
saying?
he didn't want to go as his old name, which
Dwyer
was Joseph Kennedy. Because then he wouldn't work in politics.
Well,
Ralph
but what was she saying that they used to make
what-
fun of him for? Like, or they used to make fun of him in high school.
She was making fun of him.
No, she was making fun of him.
Okay, and then she says like, so I made fun of him about it, and the detective Connor is like, yeah, and then
he
it's
starts liking
he
it,
likes that like this woman was berating this guy. He's like, yeah.
And then she tells him that she'll beat him over the head with a nightstick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're real homies.
Yeah.
So now Hippie Kennedy now we realize it's Ralph, the DA.
The DA.
And so he has a police scanner. So he's able to hear. They don't think about it at this moment. They do about 5 minutes later. But they're like, "Oh, it's this guy."
They've got Malenko.
Yeah,
undercover as a drunk.
Yeah, they give all this information out. We're looking for Ralph, by the way, and he's listening to all
In
this.
his hippie gear.
Malenko is a convincing drunk until he pulls
Malenko
out
looks
a
like a
fucking,
Marx brother.
walkie-talkie.
He looks like a
He
Marx
looks like
brother.
Harpo, yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like Harpo.
And
Shit.
then Ralph.
There's like some weird friendly fire thing that happens between
Yeah.
Malenko and a cop named Barry.
Yeah, he shoots his gun really quickly at this guy, but he's like, "You cocksucker." Anyway, that's when
I almost fucking nailed you, man.
that's when Connor says he's got a police scanner. Someone figure out something else. To the warehouse.
To the cactus factory. They're in No, I didn't write
So
cactus.
when they walk,
Casket.
there's already a dude that's dead, and a woman's being knifed. The ritual is being completed. He's humping her, and then he goes, "No!"
And then probably goes back to humping her.
And then goes back to humping her. And then there's a tedious, like 5 minutes of Connor trying
Connor's
to find
just
Ralph.
yelling, and there's like gunshots.
And I was like, I'm glad this brought Connor and Susan together. Not really.
It kind of did.
And then they chase the hippie, and they just fucking
Gun him down.
gun him down.
Yeah.
They don't even. They say what, freeze, and then they just
And
shoot
this is
him.
like one of their colleagues.
And when
You
he
think they'd
turns
have a
around,
little-
he's looking like fucking Mick Foley
He
being
says
dude
freeze.
love. But
And the dude turns around and freezes. and
yeah,
he's like,
and they shoot his
pops
ass,
a
which
three
is
in him.
par for the course with
one of
cops.
them goes, I never thought I'd feel good about killing someone. And then Susan comes up
She
and kicks
kicks
him.
him.
And then
You
while
bastard.
Ralph is dying, he has flashbacks of the last 10 murders with the end of the movie of him going, "No!"
And then humping.
And humping more. And
Humps
it's
the
so
cord.
It's his last
And the
memory.
mu-
It's his life flashing before his
Humps
eyes.
the
Like,
cord.
And the music is
And
like this
dies.
synth, like,
You made a movie, Wally Cause.
you did.
You did make a movie.
You sure did.
yeah. So
That's a very
Kill count.
You
Kill
proved you
count.
can do it.
Kill count. Kill count.
So around 15 seconds into the movie, we have our first male victim decapitated with a machete and a female victim sliced 14 times with a knife, both off screen. 5 minutes in, we have the second male victim, machete in the back of the neck. Second female victim sliced 10 times with a knife. Around 30 minutes later,
Yeah. After
We
cop
have-
talk.
After cops.
after a bunch of cop talk, we have
Jesus
Tommy,
Christ.
who's and also the Kurt Wayne and Sharon or whatever her fucking name is, Susan. Yeah,
Weathers.
They're in the kill
Yeah.
count.
That's in between. I think the boob motoring
Motorboating?
boobs. So
Motorboat.
35 minutes.
Hello,
So that's
Michael.
30 minutes later. Tommy is decapitated with a machete. There are only 2 victims in this movie that have names. Tommy's decapitated with the machete, and then 2 minutes later, Tommy's girlfriend is sliced 19 times with a knife.
Is it that many?
I
Yeah.
think there's.
Oh, she's the one with the pumpkin gun.
I think there's 3 victims in this movie with a name, and it's Nick, Emily, and Mike. Like, this movie fucking jeez.
14 minutes later,
Woof.
Angie's boyfriend gets a machete through the throat, which is off. It happens off screen, but he falls out of the closet and you see it. So, and then about a minute later, Angie dies with a knife in the chest. 15 minutes later, we have our 5th male victim. His head is cut off with a machete off screen. And a minute after that, the 5th female victim has her chest slit with the knife. 3 minutes later, we have Ralph Kennedy, a.k.a. Joseph Ralph Dwyer, who is the killer, shot 9 times with 2 handguns by police. Trivia, there's not a lot. There are 2 things.
Oh,
The director made the movie just to prove that anyone could make a movie.
he was right.
Tommy, the guy who played Tommy, Scott Hermes,
Hermes.
was a contestant on Jeopardy as well as this. No one else had any other credits
But
of
he was a
anything
contestant on Jeopardy like
yeah.
17 times, right?
I
No,
lost
and he just
on
kept losing.
Jeopardy,
2004 or something. I don't know.
baby.
Your mother, Trebek.
So, yeah, that's about it. I guess stay gagged on
Hey,
that.
hey,
Wait,
hey,
we
we
gotta
gotta
rate
rate
it.
Oh,
this
rate
turkey.
it. Sorry.
Gotta
What do
rate
you
this
give?
Goddamn.
What? Sorry. What do you give it, Nick?
Lambast this.
I give it a very low 1.
I give it a 0.75. Low, very loose, low, relaxed 0.75.
Low 1. Low.
Like,
low 1.
it's like-
I want to say this about this, and this is the like fight or fuck thing. So Connor, I definitely don't want to fuck him. And after watching the movie, I don't want to fight him. Those actors and Haller especially, Connor and Haller especially, those guys, not so much Susan. These guys were so bad at everything. I started liking them towards the end because, and it was like, dude, this is
real.
kind of the
I
best episode of Law and
them.
Order SVU you could ever watch.
No.
Because they're the worst cops ever. And
they're not.
Dude,
I give it a 1. I don't feel comfortable going under 1.
I would feel comfortable giving it a 0.25.
You guys
I
like-
can
you
give it
guys
a
actually
strong
like
point.
this more than
I
I
can give it
did.
a strong 0.25, a loose 0.75.
You
I
guys
give
like
it a
this more
1.
than I did while
I'll
we
give
were
it a
watching.
1.
It seemed like
It's interesting.
we watched this together. This is a
I
I do
pretty
like the
rare thing.
guerrilla spirit of it, though, of like anyone can do this and make a movie. And the dude did, and it is just tits and blood. And I think that's kind of the point. Is the guy was like, all these movies are tits and blood and bullshit. Like,
There's too much crime, like
there's
cop shit.
way too much
Yeah.
cop talk.
I've
It's
never
80%
seen
But
some
of
cops.
at least the
agree
cop
with
talk's
Mike.
ridiculous and hilarious.
Yeah. They act. They overact the shit out of this movie.
Tits on a board.
I mean, especially Susan, rather. God.
Whoa.
Yeah, I I need to see her boobs.
No,
was like
which,
seeing
the
your
first
aunt's-
time that's ever happened.
It's like
I've
seeing
ever
your
heard
aunt's
that.
old titties.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily a boob
She's
guy.
like
I'm an ass guy,
breastfeeding
but
that old
Jesus, this
man.
woman did not have very redeeming qualities.
No, she was gross.
I've seen worse, but
Stay gagged on
on her tits.
sandbag titties.
stay gag on super gluing that cooch up.
Stay gagged on that those 5 o'clock shadow beard.
Stay gagged on toe curling. Fucking what was going on? Sex moans when
static.
you're murdered.
Stay gagged on dry humping.
Stay
someone.
gagged on Detective Ken Weathers, meteorologist at law, forecast murder.
At 6 and 11.
Stay gagged on
Cop
May
talk.
5th of 2005. What were you? Where were you?
Stay gagged on conference calls.
Yeah. Stay gagged on all of our social media: Instagram,
Stay gagged on Italian beef.
TikTok, Gag Me with a Knife Podcast, Twitter, Gag Knife Pod. Become a Patreon for member shoutouts, fan requests. Hey, Katie. Fan request episodes, early access to episodes, bonus exclusives you won't find anywhere else. And
Giveaway.
you can buy our merch at gagmewithaknifepodcast.com.
I'm still gonna do my Fact or Fiction Katie game show podcast if you guys pay enough. But also I will be the host as Detective Ken Weathers, a meteorologist at law.
So www.patreon.com/gagmewithaknifepodcast. So go sign up. When we
Pay
get to
up,
10 members,
suckers.
we'll do a prize drawing. We're almost there. So, and we'll see you next time. It's gonna be
a prize drawing is I'm gonna draw Mike in the nude
Oh, yeah.
and I'll send it to you.
That's
I'll
that's
send
gonna
one to
make-
Katie,
okay,
too.
we're gonna start having people drop.
Gag me. Gag me
No.
with a knife.
I'll draw
OnlyFans.
Katie from my memory.
Okay, I don't think she wants that. She has a boyfriend now.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Aw.
Well, I'll draw him too.
They say
I've
I
never
love
met
you.
him.
They say I love you.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry,
Oh,
Katie. I'm
they
doing
say
it.
that to each
they-
other?
Yeah, they say.
Corny
No, they just
motherfuckers.
started saying it
They
to
go to-
everyone
they go to
else.
Starbucks and say that shit?
They started just saying it to everyone else but each other.
Okay. Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
Next time I go to a restaurant, that's what I'm gonna say to the waitress. I love you.
Yeah, I'm in love now, so I love you.
Yeah.
But you never say it to your partner.
Then I'm a stiffer.
So yeah, we'll see you next time when we're gonna have our Thanksgiving episode, Home Sweet Home.
Can we have a ham and a turkey?
An old ham.
I don't know why you ask your mom. And that wasn't
I
even a
think I
your mom
will.
joke. I figured you'll be
I
there.
think I will.
I figure you'll be there for Thanksgiving. So.
Hey, Mike's mom, if he's disappointing you on this podcast, I'm a way better boy. Give me a call. I'll be your son.
Shut the fuck
Oh
up,
my
dude.
God, ew.
Let's take this
See you guys.
outside, homie.
I think I saw you in an ice cream parlor, drinking milkshakes cold and long, smiling and waving and looking so fine.